Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mondoid, your one-stop shop for all things Project Zomboid. And this week, the next steps. So last week's blog was kind of short and sweet, just saying we're getting on with it. We're getting on to developing and kind of getting back on track after the week of relaxation, essentially, that they allowed themselves. Maybe relaxation is the wrong term, but a little bit of a reprieve from the hard, grueling task of getting Project Zomboid ready for Steam and after the Steam release. So this week we knew that they were going to be doing something along the lines of kind of getting back to work. So the blog, I expect, wow, this is weird going through puberty there. The blog this week is a little bit more detailed, which is nice, especially after the past couple weeks have been very concise, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So what exactly are they talking about this week? And that's what we're here for. So let's scroll in and get into it. So the first thing they talk about is map renovating. And one of the things they're looking for is renovating parts of the map. So a fair portion of the original Muldrow map was built in the wee early days before the early Pickens' amazing building of the map. So there used to be a version of Muldrow that we used to play on that a lot of you Steam people may not know was much smaller, much more concise, had a lot. You kind of got used to the map a little bit quicker because it wasn't all that big. But they're currently in the process of rebuilding these, even though the renovations might not be immediately obvious to the player. So what it seems like that they're talking about, and this is what I gather, is it looks like, rebuilding these potential safe houses will make them more stable. You should hopefully be able to kiss goodbye the bugs like falling through floors of the factory. So it seems like they're just renovating some of the more well-known houses and more well-known areas and bringing back some of the older areas from the map, I think. This particular part of the blog I don't completely understand. Maybe I'm just too tired to understand. But it sounds like they're fixing up some of the buildings and making things better so that some of the bugs are going to be gone from it. I don't exactly know. I'm very curious as to what exactly this means. But my understanding is they're bringing back some of the old parts of a smaller Muldrow map that we used to see and fixing up other parts of the map that we use now so that there's not a lot of bugs. Moving on from there. Stabilizing and optimization. So right now, the biggest complaint in Steam and through the Steam forums and the Steam players is that there's quite a few people who just can't get the game to run. They have to kind of do all these workarounds, these backdoor ways to get the game to run for whatever reason. And then there's those people who run the game and it runs really slow. So a lot of what they're trying to do right now is stabilize and optimize the build. Now, generally speaking, compared to a lot of other games out there, the game actually, the people who can't run it are in the smaller number. It's a much more smaller minority, and hopefully those people tried out the demo first to see if they could run it before they ended up buying it. So their main concern right now is to fix those problems, and once those optimization problems are complete, which fingers crossed are soon, they're getting back to stuff like NPCs. My hope and my concern is that they're going to focus so hard on making sure that the game runs for every single person that purchases it now that the NPCs are going to be pushed off another month or two. I don't think that's going to be the case, but of course I have a concern about it. With it being alpha, they shouldn't be worried that it runs for every single person. This is the demo is for. I think they should be concerned that it runs for the majority of the people, and that stabilization and optimization of the game, kind of is a byproduct of them. The later stretch of the build, as long as it runs for the majority, and there are workarounds for some people, that's thumbs up. Making sure that it runs for every single solitary type of computer out there, I feel like is something that is going to take a lot of time and might push back what is going to make this game so great, which is the NPCs. So long as that is, the optimization is just to take out care of some of the more common bugs, the common things that are making the game unplayable for people, I good big old thumbs up, take care of those common problems. But once those common problems are gone, once those common problems are no longer an issue, over stabilization, over optimization is something that I feel like the Indie Stone kind of falls into. They tend to fall into this trap of, well, we got to make sure it runs on every single fucking machine that exists right now. That's not what you should be worrying about. All the major bugs and major problems should be fixed. I agree with you, but focusing on it too long is going to push back what everybody's been waiting for, what you guys have been waiting for a year or two to get into the game, which is those NPCs. So my piece of advice, obviously, is take care of the common stuff, but move on. Don't get hung up on stabilizing and optimization. That's what almost pushed back the Steam release for too far, or too long. Then we've got balancing. Now, this is important, particularly for me in my particular situation. I guess this is not a common problem by the ways that they're talking about it. So one of the biggest things I'm having a problem in my playthrough right now is certain tools are incredibly difficult to find. Trowels, shovels, just gardening tools in general are very, very difficult to find in West Point, and that seems to be that just generally seems to be an overall problem in the game, and that's something they're looking to fix. So we're going to be seeing a lot more trowels being spawned in proper places, tools being spawned in proper places. Not necessarily commonplace, but something that is not impossible to find. Now, of course, when NPCs come in, if the NPCs loot the hell out of a place and they're not there, that's a whole different thing. But right now, the loot is not where it should be, or at least it's not as common as it should be. Not that it should be common, but it's way too rare, and that's going to be fixed. As well as fixing things that are making the game too easy. Something that I have been criticizing for a while now is that the rain barrel is overpowered. You can make it at, a waterproof rain barrel at carpentry level 0, but my walls look like shit. And that's weird that you can make this watertight wall, but you can't make, you can make this watertight barrel, but you can't make a good wall. So that's going to be fixed. By the ways it looks, what they're trying to do right now is that you're going to be able to make a smaller, less effective water barrel at carpentry level 2, and the one that we can make right now would be a carpentry level 4 thing. I like that a lot. It makes having to stock water and stash water really important. Something you used to have to do well before the rain barrel existed. So I'm really excited to see that. Outside of that, they've got bugs that they're taking care of, fixing up the controller support, making sure the controller support is good. New items are making the way in. You might have noticed stuff like duct tape and glue in the game already, but serves no purpose. They're talking about a weapon repair system that those will be used for, which we did talk to the developers a little bit about on the stream when the game launched, where you would be able to repair, say, like a broken axe. But if you did repair the broken axe, it wouldn't be necessarily as good as it used to be. It would still serve the same purpose, but it would not be at 100%. It might be at like 50% or something. And you would require certain tools. So, like, if I broke my axe, the actual handle itself would be useless, but I still have the axe head, and now I have to go find a new handle for the axe to make the axe something useful again. So I'm excited for that. That's a really good idea. Really excited to see what they come up with that. And finally, they have a community meetup in Newcastle for Rezzed coming in January, which is awesome. If you guys are in Newcastle, make sure you see if you can get to Rezzed and hang out with the developers. Zomboid. If I was there, God knows I would be there if I lived anywhere nearby, but I do not. One day I will. But that's it. I mean, just a lot of just here's what we're doing this week kind of thing, which is good. I'm looking forward to seeing when they start working on NPCs again. That'll be the exciting moment for me to know that they're officially working on NPCs again. But thank you guys so much. If you're one of those once-a-weekers, I will see you next week. If you're a regular, I will see you later today. Actually, this is going up at the end of the day, so I will not. I'll see you tomorrow. And if not, make sure you hit the like and comment and below. Let me know what you think of the blog and what they said this week. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the Horde or the Survivors and declare your allegiance when you comment by putting a hashtag Horde or hashtag Survivor. And as always, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.